I just haven't installed it yet.
I love this thing. Hey, welcome to Hump Day Hangouts, episode 195, where we talk about standing desks. If you would like to order your standing desk, contact me for, just kidding.
For my affiliate link.
Yeah, actually, that's funny. I was just working on, I'm setting up a site that's around like home office stuff, and that's going to be part of it. So I am at a desk so I can make the thing go up and down here. Anyways, what I actually want to talk about, and not this, is that it's episode 195 and we're getting closer to that episode 200. So this is a reminder for us that we've got to come up with something good. But before we get into it, let's go around and say hi real quick. So we got the full team here. So Chris, how you doing, man?
Doing good. Greetings from Barcelona today.
Nice. Nice. Never been. Heard good things. I know, Hernan, you went there, right? You really liked it, didn't you?
Yeah, it's a nice city. It's a really nice city.
It is.
Good deal. All right. We won't talk to Hernan too much because he's got a cold, and so I don't want him to get everyone sick.
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
thank you, Adam. Thank you, everybody. I'm excited to be here. Woohoo.
Marco, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Really good. Really excited about everything that's coming down the pipeline. So
Awesome.
really looking forward to what's coming.
Yeah, definitely. Bradley, how about yourself? How you doing? You don't have thunderstorms or anything going on?
Not today. I'm actually tired as hell today because I was up late last night with Peter Drew for a webinar that we did for him about local GMB Pro. I know we're going to talk about that a lot today, but yeah, I start my day at 4 a.m. and he's in Australia. And so whenever he wants to do a webinar to his audience, it's like 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern, for my time in Virginia. And it was like, that's a long damn day. So it was 9:30 last night when I got done. So I put on like a 16-and-a-half-hour day. And I used to do that shit all the time. But to be honest, I haven't done that kind of stuff in quite some time. So I'm a little bit delirious today, so to speak. But I'm here and I'm happy. So let's go.
Outstanding. Well, hey, first of all, if you're new to Semantic Mastery and you're joining us, thanks for watching, whether you're watching us live or whether you're watching the replay on YouTube. We appreciate you checking it out. And like I said, if you are new to Semantic Mastery and you haven't grabbed it yet, then please grab the battle plan. The link will be below. It's the best place to help you out with your SEO and digital marketing in basically all areas. And even if you're not new, it's great to have that repeatable process so that you can do these things over and over again and get good results. However, if you feel like you're past that and you're ready to take things up a few notches, then the Mastermind is the place for you to be. If you've already got a few clients and you're wanting to figure out either how to fill that pipeline and grow your revenue as a local digital marketer or as an agency owner, then we want you in the Mastermind. And I'm going to put that link on there as well. And I'll let Bradley talk a little bit. We've got a few things coming up with the Mastermind, right? Did you mention, or am I? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
we've
well,
got that stuff coming up. I think you're going to, maybe that's part of one of the questions. I forgot. Sorry, I'm kind of getting.
Did you get enough sleep last night, Adam?
No. My wife's out of town, and now I was filling that up with too much work. So I've been doing the longer work days, which is throwing me off. So. The
only reason why you said that is because she might watch this later. I know what you were doing.
Yeah, no, she watches all the intros. So no, just kidding. Hey, Jenny. But with the Mastermind, we're if you're a local digital marketer or you're looking to grow, it's not just by yourself, or if you're building an agency, then that's the place you want to be. Beyond that, I want to talk a little bit about our live event. So POFU Live is coming up, right? That's in October. It's going to be the October 19th, 20th, and 21st. The 19th is the VIP day. If you get a VIP ticket, you can come with us. We're going to have stuff paid for. We're going to have an event. We're going to have some food, some drinks. We'll have some fun. And then the real action kicks off on the 20th and the 21st. So we're limiting it at 25 people. And so ticket sales are already underway, and we've sold tickets. So I put that out there as that is a hard limit. So once we hit 25, it's over. So if you want to get signed up, I'm going to put the link below as well. And Hernan, is there anything specific we want to tell people about that?
Yeah, definitely. And here's the thing. The other day we were kind of brainstorming what we could, what would be the value and the actual, what we could give you guys that it will blow your mind with value so that you might come to the event and have a lot of value out of it. So it came out to be that we have, after almost 5 years of Semantic Mastery, we have kind of developed this system that will allow you guys to, any kind of Mastermind member and any kind of students, step by step, it will allow you guys to go ahead and set up a prospecting system to get new leads. and convert them into clients, give them results really, really fast, and then scale. So there's like these 3 steps and these 3 pillars, if you would, of the semantic mastery system, quote unquote. And that's basically the whole thing of the event. Like, we're gonna show you guys how to get better leads, more leads and better leads that you can charge more for your services, for your local marketing agencies, whether you're doing PPC or SEO, it doesn't matter. We will show you how to do that. Number 1. Number 2, we're going to show you how to give them results fast so that they can, you know, stay pretty much longer. You know that when you get results fast for a client, they tend to stick longer because they pretty much love you guys. And number 3, we will show you how to scale, like how to actually hire and train and set up the processes and outsource your business so you can repeat the process and you don't become the bottleneck. And that's going to be pretty cool. We have some training material. We want to help you guys uncover what's going to be that POFU, you know, that position of fuck you that you want to be in. And I think that's going to be pretty amazing. I'm super, super stoked about that. So if you're looking for any or all of those stuff, and if you're thinking you're lacking that into your business, just come to POFU Live because it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. The idea, just to jump in real quick, I see Marco, he's itching too. The idea, guys, is really to kind of fast track your success on how to, and it's going to be locally based. In other words, the training is focused more on local than anything else. It's not really, and that's just because that's primarily what most of our audience does, guys, and that's obviously what I do. So that's really what it's about. So we're going to try to basically give you a blueprint and a fast track to success on how to prospect and land a client, fulfill the service to get them results rather quickly. And then how to scale and really remove yourself from the business, which is really the idea, to go from self-employed to a true business owner, where you don't have to be present in managing the day-to-day operations of your business in order for it to still produce revenue for you. And that's really the idea. I know most of us are self-employed, right? And you know, I still am too, to a very big degree. But there are processes and stuff that I've been developing to help pull myself away from having to do all the work in my agency. And that's kind of what we're trying to do. And that's really where we're taking Semantic Mastery. And that's what the POFU Live event is going to be about. So we would encourage anybody that is really looking to fast track the ability to not just get clients and perform services, guys, because that's just, you've created your own job. That's still way better than working for somebody else. I'm not knocking that at all. I've done it for years. But my point is, the idea is like, do you want true freedom? And if you want true freedom, you shouldn't have to be behind your computer 5, 10, 12 hours a day generating revenue, right? You should have people in place that are doing it for you because you built the system and the processes that can afford you that opportunity. And so that's really what we're trying to do with Semantic Mastery, and that's what the Mastermind is all about. But POFU Live is going to be like a condensed version of it, where you're just going to get hit with the fire hose over the weekend and walk away with an actual plan for your business. And that's part of the reason why we want to keep it very, very small, because we couldn't sit down with 50, 100, 200 people and do this. But with 25, we very well can. And so that's the idea. Marco, were you going to add to that?
Yeah, what I was going to add is that what I'm going to be talking about is actual, it's fine to have all of these things at your disposal, which is what we make available to mainly our Mastermind members. I mean, we do have one-off products, and we have another lower membership, but the Mastermind is where it's at. But even then, we've had people who can't overcome their own like
analysis of paralysis, or a paralysis of analysis, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
It's their own preconceived notions of what can and can't be done, of what they can and can't do, and letting other people dictate what you can and cannot do. Well, fuck that. Position of fuck you allows you to say fuck that. You can't tell me what the fuck I can or cannot do. So my discussion topic is going to be centered around that. It's not just having all of these things available, because they can just put you in, like you said, in analysis paralysis, right? Where you just analyze and analyze and analyze, and you don't do shit. That's not what this is about, man. You have to be an action taker, and we have a ton of those people. We have people who only come to Hump Day Hangouts, get the information, they go and apply, and they make money. And I know of at least 2 people who built up their businesses that way. Action takers. Now, it requires a certain kind of mindset, and it's the only way to get the POFU.
Amen. So can we get any questions? What else we got, Adam?
I was probably not editing a split test page in ClickFunnels just then. Yeah, that was it. I wanted to make sure that we talked to everyone about the live event. I appreciate you guys telling them more about that and what the real reasons are behind it. And I'll just add on to that there's the side benefits, the things that we don't have to do, but are huge benefits to you. You get to meet other people like yourself who are investing in their time and obviously putting their money where their mouth is and saying, okay, I want to learn more about this, but I also want to be around the other people. That's part of why, like me and Hernan, or when I went with Bradley, going to ClickFunnels Live, it's not because I want to shake hands with Russell Brunson. He's a neat guy, but that's not going to help us make more money or bring in more clients or help me save time. But being around those people, getting those ideas, that's a huge benefit in building that network. So I encourage people to do that. And if it's not our event, find something else where you can push yourself. But hopefully you'll come join us.
Awesome. All right, so we can get into questions now?
Do it.
All right, let's do it. I'm going to grab the screen. Oops, wrong button.
We got it.
All right, Richard is up first. Richard says, are you aware of, or can you recommend a WordPress plugin that will let me just paste in the schema code that I generated using the SerpSpace Structured Data Generator? And I answered this last week because I think you posted this, several days ago. I saw it. So these are obviously, we recommend, in case you guys are unaware of this, we recommend to stop using any SEO plugin other than Jeffrey Smith's SEO Ultimate plugin. It's hands down the best SEO plugin. And by the way, they're about to release a new version of it they've been working on for months. Jeffrey and a couple other guys have been working on it for months. So that it's about to be upgraded. That's going to be the pro version, which I highly recommend, guys, which is the paid version of it, but it's super affordable, unlike Yoast. And like the Yoast, premium upgraded version of it is stupid expensive. Well, this SEO Ultimate Plus is not. It's a much, much better plugin anyways. It doesn't bloat, like put a bunch of bloated code in like Yoast does. I'm not going to lie. I've still got a lot of websites out there with Yoast on it just because I haven't taken the time to go through and swap out the plugins and update the settings. But I'm no longer creating any websites with any other SEO plugin other than Jeffrey Smith's Ultimate SEO. The reason I bring that up, or SEO Ultimate plugin. The reason I bring that up, Richard, is because it has a code inserter module in the plugin that you can use to insert code to pages or posts. There's site-wide code injection. There's also specific page and or post code injection. So it gives you a lot of options to be able to do exactly what you just asked. However, if you are adamant about using a different SEO plugin, which again, I highly encourage you to switch, but if you're using some other SEO plugin that doesn't have that option, then I would recommend using a very simple plugin. It's listed right here. I think they changed their name recently, but yeah, it's SOGO Header Footer. Add script to individual pages header footer. This is a great plugin because it gives you some functionality to where you can, add code to specific pages or posts, whether you want them in the header or the footer of the page or the post, like the HTML header or the footer area. So it does a lot of really cool things too. So, again, I always try to limit the amount of plugins on my WordPress sites to the bare minimum. So if I can use something like the SEO Ultimate plugin that has that function, I'm going to do that so that I can consolidate two plugins into one. But if, again, if you're using something else, then I would recommend just using the SOGO Add Script plugin.
I totally agree with you about Jeffrey, man. It's hands down the best. Yoast has become a bloated virus.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Anytime a plugin tries to do your SEO for you, it does not do it correctly. I mean, it's time to say no, thanks, man. I don't need it because I'm supposed to know what I'm doing.
Right?
Why in the world would you handcuff me in such a way that I can't do what I know I'm supposed to do? Which is why I just said no more Yoast ever.
Yeah. I mean, in Yoast's defense, it's more for, there's a lot of people out there that aren't SEOs, guys. They're not SEO nerds like we are. And so for somebody that is a civilian or a layman, so to speak, that then I assume that some of the things that it suggests are better than nothing at all. Somebody that doesn't have any SEO knowledge is going to follow the guidelines of those types of plugins. I for years have said that don't follow the guidelines of SEO plugins because you'll over optimize or whatever. But, so in their defense, I would say that, they're trying to serve a very broad audience with that plugin. But for anybody that pretends or says that they know what they're doing, you want to be able to have the options to change things and manipulate things that you can't do with Yoast. And Jeffrey Smith's plugin allows you to do that. So again, that's SEO Ultimate and the SEO Ultimate Plus, which is the upgraded or the pro version, which is what I highly recommend. It's inexpensive and it's worth it because it gives you a lot of additional functionality, some really cool stuff that you can do with that plugin. All right, Sam's up. He says, how important is setting up AMP version of your sites? And do you recommend any plugins or anything to simplify setting it up? It is really important, Sam, especially now because, guys, the mobile first indexing has been rolled out. If you have sites that are in Search Console, you probably have already gotten notifications from Search Console or from Google directly about that. But it's also it's an article for they posted it on their blog, and that rolled out in July. But that's on the Google Webmasters blog. If you want to look at what mobile first indexing is, that's rolled out now. So I would highly recommend that you start doing that. It's something I haven't even really started implementing yet myself. But I know that the AMP version, like, guys, it's basically what the AMP pages do or the posts do or whatever is it creates a cached version of the page in Google servers, right? So that it can load the page up. At least this is my understanding of it. People can tap on it from mobile search, and it basically loads instantly the page or the post because it's not actually going to the website. It's being served from Google's servers. Is that correct, Marco? From Google's cache?
That is correct. That's exactly what's happening. Now, there's some I don't want to say the word. There's people out there who say that you're giving away control of your website to Google. Well, who gives a fuck? They're delivering it immediately. You can't get any faster than immediate. And in mobile first, speed is critical. If not the main, it's very critical and one of the main signals, shall we say, or maybe ranking factors. I don't know how to word it, but yes, use AMP. Google is telling you to use it for a reason. And do we recommend any plugins? We just happen to have our own version of the plugin. All you have to do is go to the Facebook group, AMP Creators Mastermind, and ask to join. And you'll be able to download it. I did a video on how easy it is to install it and how to do some really tricky shit with it to get Google to give you special love. So There you go.
And this is why, I mean, this is that post I was just talking about, rolling out mobile first indexing. It went live in July of 2018. And this link right here where I talked about the announcement this talks about using page speed and mobile search rankings. Guys, this is incredibly important. Just think about it, guys. What if you go through these articles and just go search Google for mobile first indexing, and you can read through some articles directly from Google, but essentially they're saying that now even their desktop their primary ranking algorithm now is based upon mobile indexing, right? So they're mobile data centers instead of their desktop and laptops, because mobile users have eclipsed for quite some time now, mobile and desktop users, right? 2/3 of all search traffic now originates from mobile devices. So that's huge. And so again, it's very, very important, and speed and making sure your websites are responsive and all that kind of stuff is really, really important now for SEO, because again, the old metrics of optimizing for desktop and laptop are now secondary. So totally go through some of this stuff, get up to date on it, and put it to use. I've been doing a lot of AdWords testing recently again, after many months of not doing much of it. And I'm seeing just a shit ton of traffic coming from AdWords or from mobile devices now in AdWords, even for YouTube stuff, which is incredible, right? I think that's crazy. I'm seeing a lot of traffic on my YouTube ads coming from mobile devices now. So I've even been setting up a lot of like PPC, like search call only ads and stuff like that recently, because just, mobile's pretty much taken over. So I highly encourage you guys to check that out. And like Marco said, we do have a plugin that will convert your pages into AMP or create an AMP version of your pages and posts.
Pages and posts. Yeah, that's the main thing about our plugin is that we do both your pages and your posts. They're converted into AMP.
Yep. Okay, so design to framework is up. He says, I want to promote my YouTube channel so that each video in there will be on the first page on Google. Number one is not mandatory, and YouTube search engine results are irrelevant because it's for local business services. Okay, I'm going the rank and rent video model. Which one of your SerpSpace offers is best for that? Well, there's several. I mean, first of all, syndication networks is pretty much standard operating procedure, right? So I would highly recommend with YouTube, guys, there are no footprint issues. So you can get as crazy as you want to with as many networks stacked to your channel or triggered by your YouTube channel as you want. There's no problem with stacking as many tier 1 networks as you want or as many multi-tiered networks as you want. It makes no difference, guys. I have found over the years, now I haven't done any specific testing on this in about 2 years now, because I haven't had to. My test that I did 2 years ago, I tested extensively with channels, YouTube syndication to just tier 1 networks, and then also to multi-tiered networks. And I ran several tests over the course of many months where I tried to keep all things equal except for the number or the configuration of the syndication networks. Again, I would try multiple tier 1 networks to where the same one channel triggers multiple tier 1 networks, or doing 2-tier networks and then stacking multiple 2-tier networks onto a channel. And what I found was by doing a bunch of tier 1 rings, the content, the videos would rank faster, like usually quicker than through the 2-tier rings, but they didn't stick as long. In other words, they'd start slipping in rankings sooner than the ones that took longer to rank by being syndicated out through a multi-tiered network or many multi-tiered networks. But those tend to stick longer. Like they would stay higher in the search results for longer periods of time before they would start to slip. So the reason I'm telling you that is just because I first and foremost, I recommend, if this is your business model, ranking and renting videos, focus on first and foremost building up multiple syndication networks, either building them or buying them. Since you asked about SerpSpace, I highly recommend that you just buy them so you can save your time and go out and sell your service, right? Instead of creating and building networks. So what I would suggest is build up your syndication networks or buy them, whatever, to your channel, to where you have a vast, extensive set of networks. Then you can boost those networks with link building packages to give them even more power, right? And then because that's really, really important, guys, to have your own network. If you're going to be doing a rank and rent model, video rank and rent model, you want your own broadcasting network, especially if you're theming your networks. For example, like if you're doing rank and rent, I highly recommend that your channel be kind of niched down to one specific vertical if possible, or you can go broader, but then use playlists so that you're basically siloing your channel like you would silo a website. And we've got a product called YouTube Silo Academy. You can just do a Google search if you want, find it. YouTube Silo Academy that you can pick up, purchase it for I think $7, or you can get it in one of our bonus sites. If you've bought any products from us at all, it's in the bonus site. Go through that training, learn how to silo a YouTube channel, because then you can actually use your playlists as ways to trigger syndication to specific networks if you wanted to do it that way. So there's a number of ways that you can configure it. But my point in telling you this is that syndication networks from SerpSpace is one of the first things I would recommend for anybody that's doing a video rank and rent business model. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, anything that you want to give a push that's already been syndicated out across your networks, that's what Video Powerhouse is for. It's great for that. And our Powerhouse networks have been themed and they've been used with related for over 2 years now, or at least I think it's been about 2 years. Anyways, the Video Powerhouse network has been, there's a lot of power behind that, guys, because they're aged and themed domains that have their own syndication networks. And then you can also add secondary Web 2.0 network embeds, as well as backlinks, everything else through that order process. So if you have videos that need a boost, use the Video Powerhouse. Lastly, or the next thing I would suggest is to send traffic to your videos, preferably real traffic. I never recommend sending fake traffic to videos anymore at all, or really too much of anything at all. So there are a couple options there. The first one we're going to mention is the mgyb.co, which stands for Make Google Your Bitch.co. That's our marketplace where you can buy YouTube views. They're real YouTube views, guys. It's not spam views like what you would buy from YouTube view services years ago. It's not that at all. These are real people. This is real traffic, and it'll even show as traffic from ads in YouTube analytics, right? So you can get targeted real visitors from our YouTube views service at mgyb.co. Another option, especially for local stuff, is you can set up YouTube ads to drive traffic, local traffic, but based upon your geographic targeting in the AdWords, or excuse me, the Google Ads dashboard. It's no longer AdWords. It's now called Google Ads. But the Google Ads dashboard, you can set up location targeting so that you can get local IP clicks for your local videos, which is huge for ranking videos, guys. If you can, and all you need to do is set up, and I've talked about this many, many times in recent months on Hump Day Hangouts. So I'm sure we probably even have this in our knowledge base, or excuse me, on our YouTube channel, but how to use video ads or AdWords for video to rank local videos. If you just go to our channel and search, you'll see where I've done extensive training on that already. And that's a great model as well. You can use the YouTube view service, guys. Engagement is one of the biggest ranking factors for YouTube videos now, even in Google search. And so if you can show engagement by either buying views direct from YouTube or AdWords or Google Ads, excuse me, or by using a service that can provide real traffic, although you don't get the geographic targeting, you can't get as specific or as narrow with geographic targeting through our YouTube view service yet. But you can, it's really cost effective.
Can I stop you? Yes, we can.
Oh, you can.
We can get city.
Oh, wow. Oh, even better then. That's
we
even
can
better.
get city, and I believe the last time I checked, we were really close on radius. So
that's great. So it's evolving, is what you're saying.
It's always evolving. Well, everything we do always evolves.
Okay, I'll have to get in there and play with it more then, because I have not in a few weeks. So there you go. So those are my recommendations as far as what is the best way to sell and close video rank and rent model. Well, that's a whole nother can of worms. There's several things. I would say the video email method is one of the best ways to do it, although that is time consuming. It works well. And we have a product called Video Lead Gen System that teaches exactly how to do that. Also, we're doing prospecting, and I have been now for months, in the Semantic Mastery Mastermind, which, by the way, I've made significant progress in the last few weeks, and having really, really good results with the prospecting side of things now. So we cover a lot of that in the Mastermind. It'd be great to have you come join us there, but if not, you can check out Video Lead Gen System for the video email process and how to do that. That works really well. Cold calling, if you're comfortable doing that absolutely works. It's a pain in the ass. I can't stand it. I hate it. I would rather, have my toenails pulled off one by one than do cold calling. And I mean that. I hate it. So, but it does still work. But prospecting video emails works well. Also, again, I can't get into it here, guys, because we don't have the time. Plus, this is basically what I'm teaching in the Mastermind right now, which is how to set up prospecting funnels and such. And if you're doing this is your primary business model, I would recommend that you learn how to set up a prospecting funnel, because that'll automate a lot of it for you. It will reduce your manual workload for prospecting, and that's essentially what I've been developing for months now in the Mastermind, is how to set up prospecting funnels, and also how to hire virtual assistants to basically operate the prospecting funnel and manage or process the leads that come in. And we've made, like I said, in the last couple of weeks, made really a lot of progress on that. And all this stuff is going to be taught to the Mastermind members here and during the month of August. So, and we encourage you to come check it out. But yeah, I mean, again, video email is probably the best way to do it, in my opinion. If you don't want to call, if you want to pick up the phone, cold calling will help. It's very discouraging to get rejected all the time. I can't stand cold calling, but if you can get through enough no's, you'll get a yes, and that's one of the quickest ways to get somebody signed up. Okay. One other thing I just want to mention about that is in our MGYB marketplace, we have the video carpet bomb offer thing, and I don't know if we have the prospecting module or prospecting video carpet bomb offer available yet. Marco, is that available yet?
Is that the smaller offer?
Yes.
I have to check if it was added.
Okay. Well, that should be available soon if it's not yet, guys. And what I want to mention about that is if you have video marketing tools, you can do this on your own. We developed a process, or I did, using video marketing blitz, which is one of Ab's products. It's a good product. I trained a VA about 1.5 years ago how to do it, how to run that tool. And so that's his job, is just to run the video marketing blitz tool. And we set up this campaign that we call Video Carpet Bomb. Randy James actually came up with the name, but we kind of developed it out a little bit together. And one of the things that I've been doing recently is whenever we have a lead come in to our pipeline, so through our prospecting funnels, essentially a lead comes in. So now we've got an inbound lead. And once the contact has been made by our salesperson to that contact, and like an initial call has been made and they literally spoke on the phone, then what we do is when they schedule for the next call, because that first call is what we call a discovery call. So they can just get to know the business owner a little bit, ask them some questions about their business, blah, blah, blah. And then we always set the next appointment. And what happens is, as soon as Roberto, my salesman, gets off the call with that prospect, he sends the data, the company data, or the business information over to our VA that runs the Video Carpet Bomb process for us, who generates takes just a PLR video, a local like lead gen type PLR video that you can, there's many sources you can get those made, or you can buy already done for you videos. And he takes a video and superimposes or does a text overlay with that prospect's phone number. And then also obviously optimize the description with the call to action to them and all that. And then we do like a 15-mile or 10 or a 15-mile radius, and we'll target from where their business is located, and we target their primary keywords plus the locations all within that 10 or 15-mile radius. And so what we do is maybe we'll end up like, we'll try to rank 60 videos, and out of those 60 videos, because I have a VA that does this, guys, the VA gets paid like, $4 an hour roughly. And it might take him an hour to run a small campaign like this. So it costs me essentially $4, to where now when that second call occurs with that prospect, my salesman says, hey, look, by the way, we want to show you how serious we are about earning your business. And you could do this with a lead gen service provider that you're trying to sell somebody the lead, like that wants, you're trying to get them to buy leads from you, right? Or rank and rent, if you're going to rent out videos. My point is, you could actually optimize a video for their brand, rank it for a bunch of keywords, and then show them, look, this is how serious I am. I don't recommend you doing that if you're manually doing the work, because it does take a lot of time. But that's why, again, it's so important about outsourcing, guys. And this is what we're trying to convey to you guys, is how to delegate this kind of work. So I got a VA, I pay $4 essentially, because it takes them an hour. And then out of like, say, 60 attempted keywords to rank, we end up ranking 15 or 20 of them, right? Or even if it's 10, who cares? My point is, this is something we do for free to show the prospect during that second call. We can show them live results with videos ranked for their services, for their keywords, with their contact information on it. And we use that as kind of a trust building process. We say to them, we want to show you, this is part of our script, we want to show you how serious we are about earning your trust and earning your business. So this is what we did for you in the last week since our previous call. And we present them with the data that shows them, hey, look, we ranked, 14 keywords, this video for 14 different keywords for your product and the services that you offer in your service area. And what happens is we get people that are like, wow, nobody's ever taken the time to do something like that on a pitch call, which is what it is, right? We're pitching them for our services. And so that's something that we're going to have available inside of mgyb.co, our marketplace, so that people can go in and, like, for $20 or $25, I don't know what the final price is going to be yet, they can buy it. It'll get done and sent back to them with, I think what we're trying to do is a 72 or three-day turnaround time. But if you've got your own tools that you can do this, do it, or hire somebody in-house to do it for you, right? Hire a virtual assistant to do it for you. I know I spent a lot of time on that, guys, but I think that was a great question. And again, for somebody just getting started with the rank and rent business model, whether it's videos or, maps listings or whatever, guys, I know, because that's how I got started. And I know there's a big learning curve on like how to set up your business in a way that you can scale it. It's very difficult to do. And that's why I'm trying to share what I've learned over the years so that you guys can get results faster, right? Scale your business even faster. It's a great question though, by the way. Okay, MJ's up. He says, hey guys, great program. Love the information you share. I have a question about image optimization in Google My Business. Is it possible to optimize images uploaded to GMB by clients? I have a retail client who has several images uploaded by their customers. Can they be optimized, and what can be done? Thanks, guys. Well, no, because they have to be optimized before they're uploaded. I mean, essentially, you could go in the GMB and download them and then optimize them and upload them again, but then you would be uploading them as the business owner, and they would be duplicate photos anyway, so that really doesn't make any sense. But if you're, the important thing is if your business or your client's business has customers that's uploading photos from their mobile devices, then they're getting a lot of the relevant signals that you want anyways, because most phones have the GPS enabled. And so when customers take photos with their phone and then upload them, you've got all that geo location, all that geotag, the metadata information, the EXIF data, right, that is already appended to the file. And so you're already sending really good signals. So I wouldn't worry about trying to optimize photos that are uploaded by customers. That's just a blessing that they've got customers that are uploading photos to their GMB anyways. I haven't really found any of my clients where that's occurred. So, Marco, what do you have to say about that?
That's gold. Don't touch it.
Yep.
Don't touch it. Leave it alone. Google got the message.
That's right.
Clients like the business enough to upload images, unless they're really crappy images of a complaint or whatever, of garbage, something like that, where you don't want it, then you'd get rid of it. But well, you couldn't, because it was the customer who uploaded. I mean, it's a double-edged sword, right? You got to walk that fine line. But yeah, what you could do is educate more clients on what they need to do, which is actually have the GPS turned on, so that Google can get the message that they're at the location. But here's the thing: Google knows so much right now that I've taken images at the location, right, with the GPS turned off, with geolocation turned off. I've come home and gone to upload them, and Google knew where they were taken. I mean, that's how sophisticated they've gotten. So no, man, don't touch those. That's gold. Customers or clients uploading images into the GMB, as long as they're great images.
That's right.
Just leave it.
That's right. So Dan's up. Dan says, hey, gents, I have a question regarding the Mastermind. Trello boards for processes you use in your business. Are these accessible to Mastermind members? If so, I'm in. If not, how can I talk you into getting those? Well, to be honest, no, they're not available, Dan. When we first launched, I think it was Syndication Academy. Originally, it was called IFTTT SEO Academy. We tried that route because, remember, I trained all my virtual assistants on the processes of how to build networks, which you guys know is an intricate process. But I built all the process docs and then converted them all into Trello boards, specifically so that it would make it so much easier to train builders at scale, right? And that was an enormous amount of work, guys. It took me 4 months of almost 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. I'm not kidding, to do that. It was an enormous amount of work. But we have our SerpSpace building team, our builder team. Some of those builders have been with me for 5 years now, and we've got a team that have all been trained from that exact same process. In fact, that's what the whole training was developed around, the Syndication Academy training, from the processes that I developed for my virtual assistants. The reason I mention that is because when we first launched IFTTT SEO Academy at the time, one of the upgrades was the outsourcing, or maybe that was Mastermind, I don't remember, but we had what we called an outsourcer training portal, which was where I had all my Trello boards that I gave access to the members. I think that was Mastermind, not IFTTT SEO Academy. It was an upgrade. Yeah. But yeah, what happened was, the problem was a couple things. Number one, anytime a board had to be edited, first of all, like, people would come in and they were supposed to, I was supposed to add them. It's very difficult to add people to boards, because if you add them to the board, then they can literally change the boards. And at least years ago, several years ago, when we did this, there was a problem with people would come in, and instead of making a copy of the board and then importing it into their own account and then saving a template copy And so making a copy of one that you would keep as a template and then using the others, people would just start making changes and actually using the public board that they were supposed to just make a copy of. And so it created a ton of work for me to have to keep going back in and rearranging the board, putting it back to its original state. It was a pain in the ass. Finally, I said, that's enough. I'm done. I'm sorry, guys. You guys can't follow instructions, so I'm no longer going to give out. So we discontinued that. The other part of this, though, besides the fact that, Dan, I'm sure you could follow instructions, so that might not be an issue. But the other part of that is what I found is if I'm training virtual assistants for a very specific task, and that's going to be their main job duty or something that they're going to repeat over and over and over again, something that doesn't change often, then I will create Trello boards for that. But I've actually reverted most of my process documentation now back to just Google Drive, Google Docs. And the reason why is because they're much more easy, at least for my business. I don't know about my partners, but for me, most of my process docs are living, breathing documents that are constantly being edited and refined. And it's much more work to do that in Trello boards than it was to just keep a process doc in Google Doc form that I can go in and edit, or my virtual assistants, my employees, my workers can go in and make comments on and all that kind of stuff. And so I've really reverted back to just using YouTube for training videos, screencast videos. I upload to YouTube, and then I create process docs in Google Docs where I always start. Step one is always training video. I drop the URL, and then it's the step-by-step process and outline format in Google Docs. And so I've actually stopped using Trello, guys, unless, like I said, it's for something very specific, in which case that isn't going to change very often. But the processes that I've been developing for, like, prospecting, for example, I built my team now, and that's handling the prospecting, and we've got the sales, and we've got people scraping lists and all that. All of that is all now held in Drive because we're constantly finding ways to make the process more efficient, and it just takes too much time to change it all out in Trello. It's easier to edit inside of Drive. So that said, Dan, yes, in the Mastermind, I've been sharing a lot of my processes as far as the prospecting module and stuff like that. If there's something specific that you would want, you'd have to contact one of us or contact us at support. Or if you're in the Mastermind, you could just post about it in the group, and we could certainly, potentially give you process docs about stuff. But I'm not going to go out and create process docs for stuff that we do that hasn't already been created just to share. And a lot of the stuff that we do have, or that I have for my own business, is like, it's proprietary in that it's stuff that are specific to my business that really wouldn't make sense to share anyway. So I would have to kind of make the process docs for my own business more generic for them to be able to fit for them to be usable for a lot of you. And so that's, again, why I said it's, in my opinion, Dan, the best thing to do is, which I know that you said in your comment right here, is that you're running into trouble. You're having a hard time keeping ahead of your virtual assistants. I know it's a pain in the ass, man. But that's why
I'll hop in. I think you've talked about the process stuff. And Dan, if you join the Mastermind, like you said, we're happy to talk you through. There's a bunch of different ways to do this. But I actually had this exact question from a different angle come from a Mastermind I'm in. And they said, I'm really scared about making my first couple of hires. And I think that that's a common pain point because a lot of people, it's good, by all means, hire someone, because a lot of this is trial by fire. But I think, Dan, one of the problems here is it sounds like you've got the problem, you've got the person, but the in-between hasn't been bridged. And so you're feeling that pain where beforehand, you generally, if you want, you haven't built the process docs before you got the person. And now you're realizing that you have to run your business, provide the services, and train someone and do the processes. So the lesson to learn here that I learned too, working with one of my first VAs, was knowing ahead of time what it is you want them to do and starting to lay that out, and either hiring them with the clear goal that they're going to write their own process docs off of like videos or something, or that you're going to lay out the process for them ahead of time, or something in between. Because what are you saying here? You're struggling to put together boards while keeping your current customers service. Definitely. So maybe, you work out something in between. If you have someone who can write decent English, then maybe you have them and you say, hey, look, I'm going to pay you to watch the videos. And as you do it, write down the list, and then you can go through and maybe edit that and make it nicer.
Yep. And that's great advice. And that's, kind of what we teach in Outsource Kingpin, is that, you can hire somebody to create the process docs for you as long as you record the training video. And so that's something you can outsource the process docs, is my point, guys. And that's a great way to do it, because that's where, I still do a lot of my own process docs, just because typically when like it's something comes up that we need a process for. So I just go ahead and draft the process doc myself as I'm going through the steps to do whatever needs to be done. And that way it's done. I do it one time and that's the last damn time I have to do it, right? Because then I immediately just hand it off to a VA. But what I would also suggest, Dan, is to get ahead of this is try to find tasks that are repetitive in your business, create process docs for those first, so that you can reduce your workload. The sooner you can unload repetitive tasks that you do to your VAs, then that's going to free up that time that you have to do over those tasks that you have to do over and over and over again, right? That's going to free that time up to allow you to develop even more process docs for maybe some more of the complex processes or functions of your business, right? So again, try to get all the menial stuff or the repetitive tasks outsourced first, delegated first, so that you can work on the more complex process docs for the higher level stuff. Okay. But you guys, honestly, guys, like one of the biggest parts, remember, if you're trying to move from being self-employed to business owner, these are the kinds of things you have to do. But the idea is that, yeah, it's a lot of work. Like, for example, syndication networks, guys, like I said, it took me 4 months to create the process docs, the entire process for, to train virtual assistants how to do it. But it took me 4 months, and it's been like 5 years since I've had to build a syndicate. I mean, I've built a few syndication networks since then, but it's really been 5 years since I've had to create or build a syndication network myself, because I've trained an army of builders to do it for me, if that makes sense. All from 4 months worth of work that I put in several years. Well, I don't know if it's been 5 years, but like 3 or 4 years ago, if that makes sense. So again, that kind of, you put the work in now, and it's going to free you up in the future for, so you don't have to do that shit anymore.
Yeah.
Great.
If I can real quick add that the skill sets and the abilities that you have right now and that have taken you to where you're at right now, Dan, will not take you from where you're at to where you want to be, So there's a lot of re-education. There's a lot of skill set that you need to learn, that all of us needed to learn, like how to set up processes, how to coach teams, how to manage teams and whatnot, that can take you to the next level. That's why one of the reasons why I'm so excited about Powerful Live, because we're kind of sharing with you the skill set that you need to have in order to run a team, because setting up processes is a skill set that you need to learn, right? It was, ranking websites at some point or ranking videos at some other point, but then it becomes as managing people and setting up processes. So that's super interesting to learn as well.
That's right. It's a great question, Dan. Ivan's up. He says, I have a GMB site, a .com site, and a tier 1 syndication network. What's the best use of the GMB posts? Is it a good idea to push links to your links in your tier 1 properties, or just link to your .com site? Link to everything, Ivan. Link to all your branded properties, right? So what like my VAs, they've just got to do the GMB posts for us. They just have a spreadsheet with all the company, the contact, the client information for whatever business they're working on. And in there is a list of target URLs and also a list of keywords. And then they, so essentially they just cycle through, like, let's say I've got 15 target URLs, which include citations, obviously the money site, the Google Maps URL, the share URL. There's tier 1 syndication properties. Like I said, citations, press release, organization pages, all those kind of things. We just put them in the target URL column. And then the VAs, whenever they're doing their GMB posts, they just go right on down and just post 1 gets link number 1, post 2 gets link number 2. And they just go on down and cycle through that. And the idea here is just to continually be linking to your tier 1 properties. It helps to validate the entity, strengthen the brand. And over time, you're just going to start seeing everything start rising up. Okay, so link to everything, all your tier 1 branded properties, anything that's really tier 1, guys. That's what you can be linking to. Direct to your money site, direct to your maps listings, your GMB website if you have it, which you should. By the way, you can also link to other GMB posts. That's like daisy chaining. I can't talk more about that. You have to come to GMB, local GMB Pro, if you want to learn more about that stuff. R. Bacon, what's up, buddy? He says, hey guys, is it acceptable practice to have the same street address in multiple GMB listings? There is a realtor group that has 4 listings in GMB maps, all with the exact same street address, and 2 showing up in the 3-pack. I was thinking Google was not okay with that. Well, they're not supposed to be, but real estate offices have been one of those types that I've seen that for years. That's been an issue for years, because technically the broker or the real estate company, so let's say Long & Foster or Century 21, is supposed to have a maps listing. But each individual realtor, real estate agent within that office could potentially have their own maps listing with the same address, right? It's supposed to not be that way, but real estate companies have been doing that for many, many years. And, you know, so it's something that's pretty common. So, yeah, that's not, again, it's not supposed to be that way, but it's common. It's been that way for years. So I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. It says, on another topic, any concerns on using Linux operating system on your computer you use for SEO? I don't know. I had Linux on my laptop when I first started. I had two operating systems. Whenever I opened my laptop, I would choose whether I wanted to go into Linux or Windows. That's when I first started my business. But about 2 years later, I switched to just Windows only, and I haven't even been on Linux. I don't see why it would be any problem. It's just an operating system. It's just how you access software. So,
yeah, I would say the same. And you know, in any case, if you're using an Android phone, you're using Linux. And if you're using Chromebook, it's all based on Linux.
Okay.
So if you're using a Chromebook to do SEO, for example, you're using Linux. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all a matter of tracking and IPs and whatnot, right? It's the same stuff.
Yep. Okay, let's roll through the next few. Nigel's up. What's up, buddy? He says, hey, good day, gents. Thank you for all you do. I have a GMB Service Area Business currently set up with the address showing and active, and have also been using the verified address in posts. Is there any drawback to changing it to not showing using address anymore? And can you quickly explain how? Well, look, I try to follow what Google's recommendations are. If you have a service area business where customers do not come to the location, you're supposed to uncheck that box in the info section of the Google Maps or Google My Business info tab, right? When you're editing the info, if you go into the address, click the pencil icon, and then you go into the address where the street address is shown and such, then if it's service area business, you start adding in the cities and or zip codes or whatever to define the service area. And then there's that checkbox underneath that says your address will be hidden if this box is unchecked or not checked, right? And that, if you read what the Google's recommended guidelines are, is that if the customers never come to the business location, so let's say a plumber runs a business from his home, the plumber's always going to the customer location, and the customers don't ever come to the plumber's home because he's not selling like plumbing fixtures there, right? If that makes sense. It's not like a storefront. So in that case, you're supposed to uncheck that box. In other words, hide the street address. And so I've always set up all my business listings that way, or my clients' listings that way, because that's what Google suggests to do. However, I know that other people have said, well, if you leave the box checked and it shows the address, you'll rank better. I think that really depends on where the business is physically located, according to, or in relation to the centroid of the city, of the location. Obviously, the closer you are to the centroid of that location that your business is physically located in, the better. Typically, one of the ranking signals for maps ranking has been proximity to city center, right? And so if the closer the physical address was, typically the better it would rank. So I know that for some service area businesses, people would still leave the address shown if it was close to the city center because it tended to rank better. However, it's not something I've tested because I never wanted to. A lot of my addresses, guys, are spammed addresses, right? They're PO boxes, and I don't want other people complaining about it. So I don't, I typically hide the addresses. Okay. So if you're already doing well, here's what you could do. You could always uncheck the box if that is the proper way that it should be. You could uncheck the box to hide the address and monitor rankings, right? See your results. If it drops, if you slip in from out of the 3-pack or whatever, then switch it back. It's just a matter of checking or unchecking a box. Okay, that's what I would suggest doing. But I haven't really tested that. I know other people have said showing the address versus not showing it can sometimes create better results, but I typically don't do that because I don't want an address showing, right? Anyone using or having success with message functionality in GMB Posts? Yeah, I mean, some of my clients, I mean, it's not often, it's not as much, they don't get messaged nearly as much as they get phone calls or link clicks to their websites, but some messages do come through. So it's not something I've seen a lot of activity in, but some people do that. Think about that, guys. Again, that's Google trying to keep people on the Google platform. They're giving people the ability to do a Google search, locate a business, and actually text message them directly from Google so they never leave the platform, right? That's what GMB Pro is all about. It's about keeping the Google users on the Google platform, and that's why Google is rewarding all of us who are using all of the Google My Business services and posting and staying active in the in that ecosystem, because we're giving Google exactly what it wants by keeping Google users in the Google environment, right? Quit This House says, good day, gentlemen. After optimizing GMB, should we wait to add RYS and start the once per month for 4 months press release, or ramp both up right away? That's up to you. There's really, you don't need to wait. After optimizing GMB, you can do an RYS stack immediately, and you can start hitting it with press releases immediately. And you don't have to do just 1 per month. I mean, Rob, he was doing 4 per week. I tend to do mine about once every 2 weeks. That's the frequency I like. It tends to work really, really well. Again, out of 12 out of 15 properties that I applied this method to, I was able to rank in the 3-pack within 6 press releases or less, doing 1 every 2 weeks. So I would recommend increasing your frequency on press releases if you want quicker results. Also, there's no reason to wait on a drive stack, man. It's GMB stuff. Just fire away. All right, we're going to try to get through a couple more real quick, guys. We've got to wrap it up. Clickstar says, hey, guys, I have a question regarding your local GMB Pro offerings. Will you be offering done-for-you local GMB Pro services anytime in the near future? If so, how long before this is available, and how much do you feel the services will cost? Marco, how soon until we open that up?
Well, she's ready to go. We're discussing prices.
Okay. So I'd say within a week, 2 weeks tops?
Yeah. I mean, she's already working. I gave her, like, one of my best clients to work on. Guys, I never do that. I never train anyone on a client. But I said, if this is going to work, if I'm going to put her to work on other people's GMBs, then she should be working on something that I care about. And so I did. I gave it to her. She's doing a fantastic job. You saw the video she did, right? The walkthrough. Yep. So you know the type of work that she could do.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to put a hard date on it, because we won't meet until Tuesday to decide on what we're going to charge for it.
So let's say within 2 weeks, roughly.
2 to 3 weeks.
Okay. And we don't know the pricing just yet, but what we're likely going to have is tiered pricing depending on the posting frequency. Correct?
Correct. And whether you're going to provide images and video, or if we have to provide them, which we can.
Yep.
So it depends on just how much work she has to do. Everything has a cost because it takes more time to do.
That's right. So within 2 to 3 weeks, you heard it here, guys. You can hold our feet to the fire. Okay, we'll get it done. I know we're really going to be pushing GMB Pro stuff, guys, because it works so damn well, guys. Like, we want you guys to be using it because it works. You can get your clients' results almost overnight, and it doesn't require you to do any damn work, right? You just literally resell the service to your clients and make money, guys, and it will work. And so we're going to be pushing the shit out of this service and growing that done-for-you GMB Pro team, VA team, virtual assistant team, to be able to provide more and more this at scale. So this is something we're absolutely, I'd say hold off, wait, because when it comes, it's going to be good. All right, we'll go. I got time for just a couple more. It looks like we're almost done anyways. So if anybody has to bounce, it hasn't already, please feel free. Jonathan says, I thank God for you guys. Well, I will +1 that. Awesome, Jonathan. He says, came across an email from a year ago that I had not read on Cora. What is your opinion on Cora a year later? Again, many thanks. I rank #1 on YouTube because of y'all. No, you rank #1 on YouTube because of what you did. All you did was follow instructions that we provided, but you had to take action. So you rank #1 on YouTube because of what you did. All right. As far as Cora, yeah, it's awesome. Cora is great, guys. It's freaking awesome. By the way, we can run Cora reports for people. Do we have that available yet, by the way, in MGYB?
Yes, we do.
All right. Good question then, Jonathan, because You can go buy Cora or subscribe to Cora if you'd like. We have an offer that I think is like 25% off or 30% off what this stated pricing is anyways. If you go through our link, it's rather expensive, but Ted, who's the developer of it, he's perfectly cool with subscribing for a month and then running all the reports that you need. Let's say you run an agency, you got 15 or 20 clients, and you go run reports for all 15 or 20 clients and then cancel your subscription. And then 3 or 4 months later, after you've tuned the sites based upon the data that the Cora report shows, you can go back and subscribe again for a month and run all the reports to see how much progress you've made. That's perfectly fine with Ted. He even announced that on the webinar. So which is rare because a lot of times people aren't cool with that kind of stuff. Well, he was. So you can do that, or you can buy Cora reports from us because we provide that now. We have access to Cora, and one of our virtual assistants will run the report, and you can buy them from us from mgyb.co. It's a great product, guys. There's no doubt. Cora reports give you so much data, it's ridiculous, and it gives you the points on which you can tune your on-page stuff mainly. You can do off-page stuff too, but I would always start with on-page factors that the Cora report shows. Okay, it's a great product. Okay, so we're almost done. I think we just got a couple. Dan says, do you still suggest using Tubesift or simply using placements for YouTube channels and YouTube videos within the AdWords platform okay now? No, I still absolutely use Tubesift for placements. Dan, I've been doing a lot of YouTube ad stuff recently. I'm actually testing YouTube ads right now for prospecting, for generating clients for our agencies, right? And also I'm doing remarketing stuff. Just keep in mind, guys, with remarketing, and YouTube, you have to have 1,000 people on the remarketing list. For the GDN, Google Display Network, you only need to have 100 people on the remarketing list. So anyways, the reason I brought that up is because I've been doing a lot of remarketing stuff lately too. And I'm still trying to build the pixel up with 1,000 people for YouTube remarketing. But that said, yeah, I still absolutely use Tubesift. It's a great tool. Not only that, but I might even still have it open. No, I don't have it open up still, but I've been using it a lot lately. And Justin, and Ted Chen is behind that. He's the developer behind it. It's Justin's product, but Ted Chen's the developer. It's the same developer from Power Suggest Pro, our favorite keyword tool of all time, as well as Leads Recon. It's all the same developer, Ted. He's a great guy, great developer. So it's a great tool, and they've actually added some really cool things in the Tubesift recently. By the way, guys, we should drop the link for that if we have it, because it is a great tool, and they've added several things to it recently. Their keyword research is very similar to Power Suggest Pro. It's the same developer, so it's great for that. Also, he has a banner designer now built into the Tubesift tool, which is great if you're doing in-stream ads. You know that there's a companion banner that shows up in the top right corner of the YouTube watch page, and now you can create those companion banners right inside Tubesift. They're 300 pixels wide by 60 pixels tall. It's great. It's super simple to do. And placements are absolutely great. However, for running like local YouTube ad stuff, I just use geographic targeting and in-market audiences or life event audiences if possible. Because in-market audiences and life event audiences, it's called audience targeting. Those work really, really well for generating. Remember, Google's storing data on those people, guys. That's how it knows that it's in market for a particular product or service, or has recently moved, like a life event, or gotten married or something like that. Google knows because Google has all that data on those individuals. So if you can select an in-market audience or a life event audience that is with a category within those audiences that are close to what you're promoting, your product or service, right? And then you select the proper geographic targeting, think about how highly valuable those clicks are to that ad or to that video. Because Google knows it's a local IP, so it's 100% relevant, geographically relevant. And it also knows that the visitor, the clicker, the person or the viewer of the video, whether they click or not, it depends, right? But the viewer of that video has also been in market or is completely relevant to the content of that video as well. So that view is weighted a hell of a lot more than a view from somebody outside of a geographic area, or that has no browsing history or profile history of, looking for content related around that, if that makes sense. So again, guys, it's about engagement. And so Tubesift is great because it can help you to create great playlists, placement lists, and also do keyword research and just a ton of stuff that it does. It's a great tool. Okay.
By the way, while we've been talking, the video carpet bomb offer has been added to mgyb.co. So it's we have both offers, the higher price model and the lower price model.
Okay, thanks, by the way, Marco. Scott, I was reading your question. He says, showing the address in Google Maps listing is irrelevant for service businesses because my site ranks #1 with no address showing. Yeah, Scott, I mean, I've got literally dozens of map listings ranking #1 with no street address showing. So yeah, you can absolutely rank without street address showing. All I'm saying is that what I was mentioning earlier was that I know some people have said that in like competitive areas, if they choose to hide their address, their rankings aren't as good as if they show their address, even for service area businesses. Again, guys, I haven't this is just what I've heard. I'm not telling anybody to do that. I prefer to do what it says to do, which is if customers don't come to your location, don't show your street address. That's how I've managed all of my listings, and I have no problem ranking them. So again, it's up to you whether you want to do that or not. So Scott, I appreciate that. I agree with you. He says also, if you don't have a physical location where you can meet with customers, your Google reviews will suffer. People don't like it when they cannot find a business location. Well, that's true if you have a storefront, right, where people come to the business. But again, with like plumbers in a service area business, for example, if they never come to the business, that doesn't mean that they won't leave reviews. Again, I've got dozens of sites out there with lots of reviews where the street address isn't shown because there's no reason for it to be shown. People will never come to the business, yet my reviews still show. Does that make sense? So that really is irrelevant in my opinion, because people will still leave reviews. You're right. If it's a storefront and the address is hidden, well, that's just stupid. And people will leave bad reviews because they can't find your damn business because you hid the address, right? Can we get a link for Cora? Did somebody find that link for Cora, by the way?
Yeah, actually, he says it. I gave him the link to mgyb.co, but he says it's not in there. I'm gonna talk to Caesar and see. It's probably already added, but it's not live.
Okay,
but I will,
all right, we'll get that worked out. Okay, yeah, we'll get that worked out, Craig. If you want the actual link to the Cora offer itself, we have it. We have the webinar that we did with Ted and all that. It's on our site. I'll grab the link and I'll drop it on the page. If you want to go through that, that's perfectly fine too. If you just want to buy the done for you Cora reports, Marco will get that squared away and he'll tag you in the mastermind or something. Okay. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. We're a little bit over. So thanks everybody for hanging out. We're no mastermind tomorrow, so we'll see everybody next week.
Yep.
Right? Okay, guys. Thanks everybody.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
See you guys.